So is it right in saying that's where your cafe and your conference centre above is all going to be on this side, all above here?
Yeah.
Wow. It's just going to look so different, isn't it?
Well, I think it's good. Like, you come today and you can see, we'll give you an overview of the past, what's gone on. You see the present, and now you've seen the future.
Yeah.
We can't show that up till today. Yeah. We can't explain what's going, but that's now come out in the public eye now, isn't it? And you see that, you can't be anything else but impressed by it, can you? It's going to be brilliant.
It is brilliant. It's exciting.
It's epic,
yeah,
isn't it?
I'm smiling because it's like, yes,
It's I use this phrase a lot, don't I? And I used it on the video when we first met, and that was it'll do for Blackpool what Transport Museum's done for York. And I really don't just use that as a phrase, I really do believe it. I really know people will travel from around the world, around the United Kingdom, to come here because it is so unique.
Bringing history back to life is my kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I always support it and cover it.
Yeah.
Especially Tramtown.
Yes.
It's just that kind of place that's nostalgic for me. I love everything in Blackpool, but Tramtown's just got a special thing there.
Family-oriented, heritage-based visitor attraction for Blackpool. This will act as a showcase and all-year-round advertisement for some of the town's most influential and iconic assets.
The trams are the centrepiece, but it's more than just that, because we're going to turn to the history of this entire site for the answer. And I think one of the key things about this site, one of the threads that runs through it, is electricity. Right. We were pioneers in this town of electricity in the United Kingdom. We introduced electric street lighting to Britain, and it all begins
Siemens.
there. Yes,
Siemens.
yeah, that's right.
The train, look at the train. Anyway, as you know, as much as I'm still interested in railways, and especially Blackpool, the trams, gone on a bit of a tangent with some of the exploration things, maybe they've gone a little bit spooky as well, but it's important that I still bang the drum for Blackpool and the trams here in my hometown. And it's been good to catch up with a few people as well, coming here to bang that drum and keep that spirit going for what we've got going here in Blackpool, especially Darren there, Adventure Me, and Walk on the Wild Side. I spoke to them, but I've never actually met them in person, so it was nice to meet up with them as well. And it's good that they've come here to sing the praises of the trams. I'm stood here actually, and they've brought a tram in just there, so I was just waiting to film it coming in. But I think in the meantime we'll have a little bit of a wander around, have an explore of the tram shed, because all this behind me here is going to get absolutely knocked down and redeveloped as part of the phases for the upgrades that are going to happen for these beauties in here, which Bryan has wonderfully explained a little bit more.
Well, we're here today to celebrate the start of the first part of our journey into the future, because our board have supported the loan of £800,000, and that will enable us to move our workshop space from the present crumbling buildings that we've occupied for the last 100 years. The key to this is being able to maintain the tram operation, because we were in danger of losing it as part of this redevelopment, because we're reinventing Rigby Road Depot for the 22nd century. You could argue it's going to go on beyond this one, long into the distance. We've got to go electric bus, and in order to do that, the space that our workshops currently occupy will be used for charging facilities for the new vehicles. Right. So all those buildings have got to come down, and that will happen just over a year's time. Yeah. The other phases are just basically sort of restoration and cosmetic improvement of the building itself. It was built in 1935. It's had very little investment for over 40 years, which has meant that it's in a very poor state of repair by now. But it just goes to prove how well constructed it was, that it's only now starting to show signs of wear and tear. Yeah. And that tells you just how good it is as a building. Yeah.
It is a kind of an explore here at the tram depot at Blackpool. It's so good just to get around, have a look at places. Going on the train. Oh, it's warm. This is something that you don't often get a chance to do. Sitting in the driver's seat of the Western Train illumination tram. It's even got its own camera up on the top up there. Smoke machine. We've got a smoke machine. And now walking through the boiler to go into the tender where the seats are. That's quite exciting. So it's a bit disjointed, this video, because there's so much to do and see, and I want to try and absorb it all for you as much as possible. But just walked in straight into the depot. First thing I see, the Fisherman's Friend tram, beautifully lit up with all this LEDs, which was actually striping across and changing patterns before. We've got some little buildings over here behind me which are being used mainly for storage, but like we said, it's all being transformed and upgraded as a heritage centre looking after these trams here for Blackpool. I'm now walking into this area where some of the maintenance happens for the heritage trams, like a little bit of a workshop. So I'll have a wander around and a little show and tell and point to see the behind the scenes, as it were, of this tram depot. I'm smiling because I'm excited. I really am excited. We've got pantographs galore in this little workshop area here. Is that a polishing machine, grinding machine? I like this because there's so many old pieces and artifacts that are lying around that's part of the past. I mean, these cabinets themselves, I wonder how long they've been here. You just look at the handles and everything else. A K-Dodd. It's not Ken Dodd, is it?
And what was nice was when we spoke, I knew this was playing itself out behind the scenes, and you think, oh great, and you go, oh, I really want to, and I'm hopeless at, you know, at Christmas when you give Christmas presents, I'm hopeless at keeping secrets if I'm excited.
Yeah.
So this was like a gigantic Christmas present. I was just talking to a lady from Granada Reports, and she said, I never knew there were so many different types of Blackpool trams here. And I was like, no, how mad is this? You know, this place is bonkers, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And because at each point of different needs in Blackpool's history, they had to design a new tram to deal with the demand, and it had to look like and do certain
that's
things.
true, yeah.
So we've ended up with this absolute sort of conglomeration of craziness in transport vehicles. But they're also gateways to our memories, so they go into this nice warm part of our brain, and that's why it's so special.
So you see how there's all the layers of paint that are put on here over the years,
Right.
and then we've just peeled this back. Look how it's sound underneath the wood.
Oh God, yeah.
But yeah, look, and that's the thing, you see, because that's all been preserved. All got these panels on, but it's the frame it runs on, which is steel, made of steel, but when, like I say, running on sea frontier, and you've got the sea, wind, rain, and everything seawater, it just rots the frames, that's what goes. Look inside, that's all we did.
The smells.
See that?
Yeah.
All like that was original on that side.
Right.
So then what we did was, because when we did the family tour, the kids go in the cab and take photographs, because we were limited to space down there. They couldn't get to the pictures, you know, for the family outside to picture the kids that sat in the cab.
Yeah.
So we turned it round. So then moved all this back to here, cleaned all this side up, so there's more space on that side, so we can sit in that cab now.
That's a lot of good work, that.
So it's all clean and tidy, that.
Them seats are immaculate.
Yeah, fantastic.
Are they a particular period?
It'll be back to the, I don't know if they're actually the original.
No. But probably not far off it.
There's a different style, because there's another tram that's been refurbished over there. They've got a different style seat.
Right.
I can show you.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've all been reupholstered, ready to go in the tram.
You in focus. Get in focus, lad. You're not a stranger to Blackpool.
I'm not.
You've been here a few times and you've done some really good videos and you've done really well for yourself. What attracts you though the most about this?
Probably the nostalgia.
Yeah.
I would say for me, one of the couple of things I remember as a kid of Blackpool, apart from the obvious tower and the President's, is the trams and the illuminations.
Yeah.
And the trams with the illuminations on were the iconic thing that I used to want to see going up and down the prom.
Yeah.
So to see it now in the flesh, still here, still running, and them trying to keep it running for many more years. It's just nice to see. It's like keeping that nostalgia going rather than it just disappearing and being just memories.
I suppose it doesn't matter where you are in the country, if you've been to Blackpool and you've picked up a golden memory, a favourite memory of the place, you're going to carry that away with in your heart, and you'll always have affection for...
Just for us townies, as you would call
townies, yeah.
I mean, you know, you guys living here, you're probably used to it, but when you visit, it's still unique, it's still new.
She tells them stories where people see people sat on the top of the deck of the trams with all the gear on.
This is interesting.
Yeah, it's...
This is very much... obviously talking about the future of the tram depot and showing how it is now and explore, but Bob was just telling me that there's a few ghost stories about this place. You seen people?
People have seen people, what they think people sat on the top deck of the tram, and when they come back they're not there.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's, you know, what's it, top like regalia and all the Victoria, you know what,
Yeah.
all the gear. But yeah, and there's people who've had experiences in here, in the building over there.
Right.
And true, people who've actually, not stories, are saying that they've actually experienced it. So there is something round here.
Maybe something for the future, perhaps.
Yeah, there is something here.
Definitely. So even the Victorians like to come back and support the heritage trams.
Yeah, exactly.
A bit of nostalgia. That's ace. That's good.
Yeah, but it is. Yes, stories.
Yeah.
Well, it's on here tells you about the wash and change over there, and if you're doing a wash and change, you feel somebody tugging your jacket, and turn around, it's not there. But they definitely feel somebody tugging the jacket.
That's normally the kids at home that won't do that.
Yeah, exactly,
When's tea ready, Dad?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we're going to put all that back in, so it'll be a museum of everything that this site has ever done. And one of the key things about this tram shed itself, it was built in 1935 to be a dual-purpose tram shed and exhibition hall.
Yeah.
It never actually fulfilled that function because so many trams were required, there was no room for exhibitions.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it never actually completed that. So in a way, all these years later, we're actually going to put the exhibition hall back into the plan and finish it off.
Yeah.
It will be a vibrant resource that will be open from 10 in the morning till 10 at night. It will fulfill a number of different functions. And from the moment you walk in to the moment you walk out, there'll be things to do, things to buy, things to see, things to eat, things to drink. It'll be exciting.
Brilliant.
We're even putting a theatre organ in.
Oh, wow. Whose idea was that? Yours?
Mine. Yes. One of my quirky eccentricities, somebody always said, you always seem to put all the things you like into whatever you
Why
do,
not?
don't you? So there's trams, theatre organs, nice restaurant,
Yeah.
I also like to
Yeah,
eat.
definitely.
There should be
brilliant.
something for everybody. And it'll
Yeah.
be a multi-purpose space, so it will lend itself
Yeah.
to conferences, wedding hire, film shows, theatre performance.
What was on here was plates. It had the numbers of the trams on them, on plates on here. So depending where they were in the workshop or in here, then the plates were moved to allocate where they were going to do. So what I just did at the moment, we're making new plates up to go on that board. So we're going to lift that back, we're going to put that back up and put the plates back on there. So all the trams that are in here, they'll have their numbers and they'll go in here. So that we're doing that, yeah. That's in progress at the moment.
They've started already to tear down the Eastern bus garage. I saw them with a cherry picker early in the week, tearing all this down. As we were saying before, all this is going. Everything behind me here is going, and all be redeveloped. Now, links in the description area down below if you want to read a little bit more about how the plan is going to unveil over time. But in a decade's time, all this is going to be so different and have a brand new purpose in life. And for Blackpool. So we've had a bit of an explore, we've had a bit of a ghost story. It was great to catch up with Bryan, Paul and the team here at Tramtown in Blackpool. And also, of course, Darren adventure me and see Walk on the Wild Side as well. It's nice that everyone's come together to celebrate Blackpool. And there we go. So, don't forget to like and subscribe. Find me on Facebook. And until next time, ta-ra. And ta-ra to this. So long. That's spot on.
That's all right.
It always is, bro. It always is. You never fail. You're a dream.
That's very kind. Well, you make it very easy. You're very easy to
house plant.
So his own house plant.
Oh, yeah. Bit of window decoration.
Massively. So yesterday we were all in, and I only realised something. We were in from 9 till 5, and everybody knew what they had to do. I only realised amazed at actually just how good it was, how great they are, because I never actually asked them to come in. They all contacted me to say, can we come in and do this? So you're in? And I said, yeah, I'll come in. And that's when I realised, wow. And the everything's been cleaned, brushed, washed, and it shines. It feels like what we want it to be, and they've done it. And I'm so proud of them. They're pretty special.
They are special.
Yeah.
Good bunch, friendly. Yeah.
They certainly keep me on my toes.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it is absolutely. I never get a chance to have an ego because these guys certainly bring me back down to earth within 5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.